Welcome back to Scavenging Simulator 2013. In this thrilling game, you can walk around a large room, picking up items that you so desire from the floor. Isn't this thrilling? Oh my god. Okay, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome to another episode. I sounded really poncy when I said that. Welcome to another episode of The Legend of Grimrock. We're in this kind of crazy cave area. In the last episode, we made some pretty heavy progress in the vault, honestly, even though I spent quite a while just sitting about. We did two particularly difficult areas, in my opinion, the most difficult areas of the floor, and we've basically acquired ourselves a key. Well, two keys. In fact, now we've got 3 keys. We might even have 4, I think. So we've got this gear key that we got ages ago, well, last episode, which I'm not told you what's for. We now have 2 brass keys, and do you remember even longer before that when we went into the Temple of Grimrock, we got this ornate key. So we've actually got loads of keys on us at the moment. We're going to start using those pretty sharpish. There's nothing secret in this room. It's a big room, but it's also a big empty room. Your only purpose of coming in here was for a bit of that juicy ass experience. Oh, and I need to reclaim my bolts. Oh my god. I thought I'd got everything. Apparently I'm bad at Scavenging Simulator 2013. Because what? They're not here. What? Where are my bolts? Are they just... Oh, there they are. Yeah, they were in my inventory. That's like when you're looking for your glasses and you're already wearing them. Or you're looking for your shoes and you're already wearing them. Or, well, actually, no, that would be pretty bad. Why would you be looking for your shoes if you're already wearing them? Anyway, right, we've done all of that. We've got one of the keys now. If you remember, in the other side of this maze area, we've got this other door. We killed both ogres. I think there's probably still a new guardian hanging about here, floating around somewhere. But I'm going to ignore him. Live and let live, I say. As long as he doesn't come and attack me while I'm doing something later. And we'll come into this next little section here. On my test run just now, I spent an ungodly amount of time in just this little area, circling around this little pillar, because the guide said that there was a secret here, that there wasn't. It's like way later, so I had to go to a different guide. I don't know, man. It's kind of screwed me over in many ways, but yeah, I honestly, I was scanning all these walls and thinking, oh, given that I couldn't find that lever before, that lever in the previous room, given that I couldn't see that before, I thought, oh my god, maybe I'm just missing a small switch in here. Turns out I wasn't. Anyway, we've got 4 little pressure pads, and we are going to fill them up with meat. In fact, not that one. We're going to put meat here. We're going to put mole jerky on here. We're going to put some cheese bread on there. I know that's not meat. We're going to put some mole jerky on there. And lastly, we're going to put our asses on there, our meat, our living meat on this next area. I really feel kind of weird about this because I haven't saved between episodes, which I really should have. Oh, I'm hoping it will just make that moment where we can break back through into the save crystal area later on in this video just feel that much better. So anyway, this won't be as dangerous or as difficult as before. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand on this pad and it's going to break this whole room open. It's going to rip it a new one. It's going to reveal a bunch of enemies behind the walls that were in here, okay? 4 spiders, 1 guardian. The main thing you want to do is clean the spiders out because they'll get in the way and impair you while you're trying to dodge the guardian. As you can see there as well, they're vaguely smart. They won't actually attack their own allies. Once we've done that though, I'll get rid of my damn inventory clogging up the whole screen. Once we've done that though, it's pretty simple. Nothing like the previous 2 rooms that we just did in terms of difficulty. And we can thrash him about. Also, yes, I appreciate my torches going out. I hope nobody has epilepsy. But I don't think there's any more for us to find for a while. Oh yeah, there is, because obviously we picked up that new one. So, right. Grab all your bolts back and stuff, and you'll see obviously we opened up the room. You can also get your meat back, so don't worry, it's not a massive waste of food. 5-second rule, 5-minute rule. It's not even been 5 minutes. It's good, it's fine, guys. I was reading like a Reddit thread where people were like, oh, things we all do but we don't admit we do. And like so many people were like, oh, eat off the floor. It reminds me like that episode of Friends where like they drop spaghetti on the floor and stuff and just start eating it. So anyway, just pull this lever. There's no hidden secret in here. There's none. Just pull the lever to open the door and progress. It's probably one of the most simple areas of the whole place. This is going to open you up into a very, very large room, or rather a kind of a set of large rooms, which again, for me, this is like another magic moment. One of the original dungeons on there, you had like this giant cave, right? It started off as a temple, but you could kind of break into the back of the temple and find like it was infested with all these spiders, like this massive area. And outside the temple were loads of goblins, but then you'd go deeper and deeper and deeper in. And I remember that it was one of the earliest games I ever played, and also it was kind of my first experience of a game where you kind of had to grind to learn how, to get stronger to do stuff. And I used to find that temple so hard. I thought it was impossible. And then I kind of went back there way later, and it was such a weird moment for me because it was kind of the first time I appreciated what leveling up could really do for a person. And I went in there and kind of just started kicking all these things out. It was such a good game, guys. Anyway, that had lots of very large open rooms that I'm sure graphically would look disgusting now and make you want to puke your guts up. But back then, it was large, it was scary. Oh my god, I didn't realise you were still there. And this reminds me of it just a little bit. Maybe because it's one of the large rooms with spiders. Because before they were always kind of narrow corridors. Because obviously they can jump out at you. You got like a little knife here. Knife was the first thing Natalie Pinecove ever had. I don't know why they give us a new one here. I really don't. But it's one of those things. Actually, I think this is the room. Do you remember last episode I talked about like a leather cap being on the floor somewhere? This is that room. There's another shuriken there. I really am curious to what it would be like to replay this game, but with a throwing weapons character, because there's so many throwing weapons all over the place. I'm not sure how they kind of balance. But yeah, look, it gives you a leather cap. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because at this point in the game, it's meant to be for your caster class, because maybe they've gone that far into spell defense, perhaps. Staff defense. Do you know what I find interesting as well with Legend of Grimrock 2 coming out? How much the developers have kind of paid attention to what trees don't work. You know, I'm not going into staff defense. There's no point at all. And you feel kind of gypped if you go into it on your playthrough. Like on my first playthrough, I went through it because I didn't really understand how the game worked. You don't know how often you're going to get attacked from behind and stuff. So, and it's kind of a useless tree. I wonder how much, I mean, they're an indie studio and there's not many of them. You'd think they'd be pretty down to earth and close to what their own game's like. So that would be cool to see in the second one. I'm really excited to see how those trees and stuff begin to change. I know I'm being kind of lackluster with my inventory here and just throwing stuff around, but whatever. I can always fix that up between episodes. Right, so lots of food, bread, meat, make yourself some sandwiches, and you will in fact find that secret I was talking about earlier. You'll find it now. So, you come forward through this kind of weird winding area. It's actually just ahead of us. There's another large room, and there should be an enemy. No, there's no enemy. We're actually so close to the end here, guys. Right, there's a hidden switch here. Not so hidden, perhaps. But you'll find it, and it opens up this doorway at the end here. You see, this actually moves us back right next to kind of... Well, not even that close, but this moves us sort of back to that room with the pressure pads. But in fact, it just opens up a little way with a wooden box for you. And inside the wooden box, 3 more quarrels. Hell yeah. So now we've got 18. We don't need the box, of course. We didn't need whatever that other thing was in it either. But grab those 18 quarrels. That really helps us with double shot. We're pretty much smooth sailing from now on in terms of that. And we can progress forward a little bit more. I'm zooming through this. Oh my god. I'm zooming through this. This is so quick. Right. We're going to finish this so quickly. I thought this floor was longer than this. Right, this is this crazy room we've been looking at ever since the start, right? All that time ago, this is that crazy room now come back, okay? The very first the lightning bolts that we saw, all those grates, this is it, the room with the spider. I'll show you how it works. So, there's a spider over there and a bunch of pressure pads, as you can see. He's just running around in some kind of crazed frenzy. Every time he treads on a pressure pad, the mouths around him fire bolts. So as you notice, he never gets hit by the bolts whatsoever. But by doing this, the devs have made a really kind of weird way to have kind of a random clock, I suppose, on a trap. And I remember on my first playthrough here, it took me a long time to understand what was triggering all the bolts to be coming and stuff. But that's it. It's the spider. The spider is basically firing at us, which I find so cool. You can kill him, obviously, with your ranged weapons. You might be wondering, but wooden potatoes, how on earth are you going to be recovering your bolts? And you notice he took quite a beating there. He's like a super tanky spider. Well, we'll get them in a minute. Don't worry. What else have we got in here though? We've got a lever, and that will allow us to come back to the save crystal once again. So finally, that gate I started the last episode with, staring through, that was this gate, that was this gate, which we've now opened. And as I mentioned before as well, oh no, that was this gate, which you can't open at all. And as I mentioned before, that there pretty much is the end of the floor. Do you believe me? Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. I'm about to show you though. So aside from that though, this looks like a bit of an empty room. What happens if we go down the trapdoor? There he is, there he is. There's a snail, and we just one-shot them now. Oh, I love snails. But he's dead. He's dead, so get over it. There's lots of food here for us, though, namely bread. Cheese bread, which we can eat as much as we possibly want. We'll eat that one too. And then there's some throwing axes. We don't care about that. It's obviously snail meat too. There's no secret switches or anything in here, though. So what's going on? Well, in this room, turns out there's 2 secret switches. There's one here, and then there's one over here too. So we can press it. That doesn't do anything, though. You might have thought, oh, that'll open that gate, but it doesn't. And then we can press this one, too. And this will open this gate. Now, this gate will only open if you press both buttons. So if you press this one first, maybe, and you think, oh, that didn't do anything, then you press this one, you might also think, oh, it didn't do anything. And if you press that one second, what I'm trying to say is you might not notice this gate's open, so be aware of that. But yeah, you find those 2 hidden switches, and once again, we can progress. And this is quite nice as well. I like this because in this room, it's kind of just led you back to the save crystal, and we've got a key, okay? So you might think, do you remember that old gear key we got, this one here? So you might think after all that, you might think, oh, okay, well, I'm done with the vault. That was kind of cool, and you might end up leaving it. It's like a final double bluff, like a final extra hidden thing that could just throw you off and you'd end up leaving, which I really like. But if you do find both of those switches, you will see the vault. Thieves beware. Interesting. So, and we've got a button on there to open it up. There's also some of those horrible statue things in there. It doesn't look too good, does it? Right, and don't forget the name of the floor, the Vault of the Dismantler, or, well, that's what it said at the start. We also get this lever here, which will allow us to get these bolts back. I appreciate the way I'm saying lever is probably getting a bit obnoxious by now. So we can get our bolts back. There you go. And be careful in my test run as well. I was like, oh, so this is quite interesting. Look, the lightning bolts will never hit us. Because I started to wonder how this worked. Because what if the spider's AI decided, right, I'm going to run to this square in front of me and then this one really quickly. And I thought, oh, it must be designed in such a way that by the time you get to that other area, the next pad across, the bolts are, like, you know, too far away and you're just always immune to the damage. That's how I thought it was designed, but I wanted to test it. So I did this. And I realised, oh, it does hit you, but I freaked out and actually got myself killed. I just started running around, basically like a headless chicken. Got myself killed straight away, so that sucked. And then I'll bring your attention back to the fact that was a really tanky spider. So on my original run-through, actually, it took me a lot longer to kill this guy. It must have been that on this time while I was Let's Playing it, in the background while we were doing all this stuff, this spider was just slowly patrolling around, running around, and every now and then, through sheer luck, getting himself a little bit more hurt, and I found him with much lower health. I guess if it took you like an eternity to finish this floor, you might actually find the damn guy dead before you even get there, which again I would not recommend because you wouldn't get any experience for it. So anyway, did we go and activate the save crystal? Yeah, we did. Right, not that we really need to. I don't need to build up suspense when there's no need. So there we go, we get a secret ding, and we are in the vault itself, very close to the entrance of the floor, and sadly the prize that we've been waiting for is a sword. Let's take it. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what I did there? I was gonna film myself die for you guys, but then like I just instinctively put it back down because I don't want to do it. Okay, hopefully you see what happens here. Look, when we take it, when we pick it up, it starts firing lightning bolts all over the place, and they get quicker and quicker and quicker. And look at all of these mouths. So it just fills the whole room up with death and locks you in, and it gets you killed. So basically, you have to do like a classic Indiana Jones style thing. When I was playing again just now, I used one of these green gems. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We'll put one of the gems on there and replace it. Which is okay, but I also think, oh no, did I throw it away this time? But also what's kind of more fitting in a lot of ways is you can use that. I used that piece of paper that showed us where that rune was to very first get us in. I think that's quite good because that's useless anyway, so why not? But hey, we can use a scroll of enchanting fire arrows. Place something on the pedestal before you pick up your sword. That way you don't have to like do a proper switch like Indiana Jones does. So anyway, there you go, guys. We've now got another enchanted sword. This one isn't like, you know, it doesn't have charges. It won't run out. This is the Dismantler, a legendary claymore forged deep in the underground magma furnaces. 27 attack power. 12 speed. So this is another reason I think why people would go for swords on a rerun of this game, because this is the second like incredibly OP sword we found, which is a shame that they're going to favour the swords, but hey, there you go. That's kind of the classic fantasy weapon, and there you go. You're done with the vault. But hold on, hold your horses. If you look here, ooh, not there. If you look here, there's a secret switch, which opens up a secret little bit of the vault, and in my opinion, the true treasure lies within. Treasure found 5 out of 7. That's all of the treasures so far in the game. Let's put our flasks back on Arachnia. Let's put our food on the correct characters. Let's put this wooden box on the correct character. Actually, no, that is not the correct character, is it? Oh, Chaos, don't be overweight. Come on. Can we just put the box on Liz, perhaps? Oh, now she's totally overburdened. Oh my god, why am I having all these burden issues? Just eat the food. There we go. Right, I'm going to have to sort that out later. We'll take all of this anyway, and then as part of treasure, amongst the others. Look at this. Look at Natalie's inventory. Look at all these gems and treasures. She is just going to be rich when she gets back out. She doesn't have to share any of this for nobody. So here, look, you've got a golden dragon. A golden dragon figure. It feels warm to hand. Could it be enchanted? Not the greatest flavor text, but there you go. That's the 5th treasure of the game, guys. Check it out. So awesome. And that just kind of reminded me there of ages ago when we were like on the 2nd floor when we got the first treasure and I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to carry all of them. I'm glad I have carried all of them. I think this is really cool, actually. Who would have thought it'd come to this? But we've got 2 more as well. Basically, it's going to fill a whole row of our inventory, which we will get in due time. And for now, these scary-ass statues have got nothing to say about it. So let's continue on. We're almost done now, guys. We're very close to the save crystal, as I say. I really like it how it's all localized like that. Oh, was that the scroll there? The piece of paper that I was talking about? Yeah, this note here was the one I was talking about. So anyway, right, we can activate this save crystal. And we're sort of done, almost. Here we go. Do you remember I said I was going to blow your mind? I was going to blow your mind. The iron door. The iron door. Look, guys. We got this. Oh, no, not the ornate key. The iron door. Look, for the gear key we got ages ago. That was for the iron door. So there you go. That's what that was all about. That secret at the end of the long tunnelway with the lightning firing at us. It's kind of a secret on top of a secret kind of thing. And we had to kill the ogre for it. That was for the iron door. And we get the next set of the Valor, the next piece of the Valor set, the Helmet of Valor. Plus 15 protection, minus 10 evasion without heavy armor proficiency. Even though this helmet looks ceremonial, it is forged to last even the mightiest of blows. So there we go, check it out. And Liz, once again, gets the second-hand plate stuff. She's a little bit overburdened here, which she wasn't before. I think that's because I've eaten a lot less food. I feel like I've completed this so quickly. Man, I really don't want to have to start giving up all of these items. We're going to have to get rid of the chitin stuff, so hey, anyway. Oh, and how fitting, our torch is about to go out. But there you go, guys. Also, 4 frost quarrels. That means we've got 22 quarrels as soon as we've used these up, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but we'll use those up. So yeah, 24 of them. That's plenty, isn't it? I don't know how many more are even in the game after that. But there you go, guys. That was the Vault of the Dismantler, 100% clearance. Look at that beautiful map. That's all the secrets that were there. And yeah, now finally we can descend into the Grimrock temple. Remember, we got this key a while ago. We got this cryptic note. 2 times left she slithers, once left, 3 times right, and twice more is left. This she repeats twice, as well as this key, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. We will be having a look later in the temple entrance. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.